Good everyone, welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Venezuela is not budging and instead adopting a wait-and-see approach following Monday's announcement of the reincarnation of the Dragon gas deal with Trinidad and Tobago. Well-placed sources in the Nicolas Maduro administration told Guardian Media yesterday that the recent rhetoric by both TNT and the United States against Venezuela has been insulting. Okay, but if you find so well, then don't bother. You don't want anything to benefit your country. The sources said a different approach is required for both nations in order for the Maduro regime to change its current stance in order for any deal to go forward. So they must stop saying that they are narco-terrorists in Venezuela and stop saying what? That Maduro himself was charged for being a narco-terrorist. I mean, come on, man, people. Sources also pointed to two recent injunctions issued by Justice Frank Sipasad in the TNT High Court, which suggests that proceeds from the Dragon gas deal will go directly to U.S. energy company ConocoPhillips and its subsidiaries and not to Venezuela. They are therefore questioning what benefits Caracas will get out of any deal. When we're dealing with people like Maduro and Venezuelan officials, they can't really say for sure if anything they're saying is truthful. But, I mean, putting aside the narco-terrorist aspect of it or whatever, if you're going to have a deal that definitely has no benefit whatsoever to Venezuela, then you're basically using the people and using the citizens as well and the resources from Venezuela. Then, honestly speaking, people are going to get vexed with me for saying this, but then maybe, just maybe, that deal really isn't good at all. Sorry to tell all you that, but fair is fair. You cannot expect the government of Venezuela, even if they are criminals or not, to agree to a Dragon gas deal whereby the Venezuelan people will not benefit in any way whatsoever. We need to hear more from America, from Marco Rubio, and also from our government here in Trinidad and Tobago to explain what exactly will be the arrangement in this new reformed Dragon gas deal. Because let us just be clear about one thing. You know, the PNM done saying, well, you know, Kamala and them going back and doing and having going ahead with the same deal that they were demonizing while the PNM was in office. People, the agreement has changed. That's the difference. Okay? But if the agreement is now totally unfair to the Venezuelan people, then sorry, I'm telling you, they have all rights to reject it. Sleep better. Say goodbye to stiff necks, headaches, and restless nights. Our premium cervical pillow is designed to perfectly support your neck and spine, keeping your body aligned while you sleep. Soft yet firm, it adapts to your shape, giving you ultimate comfort and deep, rejuvenating rest. Whether you sleep on your back, side, or stomach, this pillow reduces pressure points, eases tension, and helps you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Invest in your sleep. Your neck will thank you. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and feel the difference from the very first night. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, we the People's Prime Minister, says she's prepared to lead negotiations in Venezuela with respect to resurrecting the Dragon gas project. Madam Prime Minister, if you have to have any sorts of discussions with any state official, including Maduro, let us have it here on our soil where you can be protected. Do not go into that dangerous territory, please. Anyhow, she said the UNC had been working to find a way to breathe life into the Dragon shortly after it won the April 28 general election. As I said just now there, It's all about the details is what would have changed and caused the approval to take place now. After a meeting between Prasad Bisesa and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the U.S. State Department on September 30th, the Office of the Prime Minister and State Department issued separate statements to announce an agreement had been reached with respect to continuing TT Venezuela cross-border energy initiatives. Once again, I am hopeful that it will be successful, but if it's completely unfair to the people of Venezuela, then sorry to say this, it ain't gonna work out. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has defended her recent participation at the United Nations General Assembly amid questions over her role and purpose of her trip. Speaking at a press conference yesterday at her Charles Street, Port of Spain office, Beckles said she has been attending UN meetings for more than 3 decades in various professional capacities, including a former ambassador, and was invited this year to speak and moderate at several side events. Yeah, but Penny. Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago was at that meeting, right? At the United Nations meeting. Didn't you think it was not the appropriate time to attend something like that? And even if you're posting all these different pictures, why not wait until our Prime Minister returns to Trinidad and Tobago and then do your post? But you are basically trying to share the spotlight with our Prime Minister. You think that was right? I don't think so. Ladies, meet your new go-to bag, our mega duffel handbag, perfect for your travel, shopping, the gym, and everything in between. Crafted from premium Oxford material, it's not just stylish, it's built to last. The ideal size, flawless design, and unbeatable quality make it the bag you'll reach for every time. Versatile and ready for anything. WhatsApp 762-6589 to order yours today. Police are investigating an attempted robbery in Laventille, one of the most peaceful, loving areas of Trinidad and Tobago. On Wednesday morning, that was thwarted after the victim's mother, a police officer, drew her licensed firearm. Well done, ma'am. Around 8 a.m., a 20-year-old man went with his mother to sell a hoodie near L&M Engineering along the Eastern Main Road when 2 men approached them looking to reap their ancestral inheritance. People, that's what the 2 men were attempting to do. One suspect placed his hand into the young man's pocket and announced a robbery. They're big and bad, you know, them is bad man. Right. At this point, his mother drew her firearm. The second suspect shouted, "Goodbye!" And both men ran off in different directions. Wifey definitely would have been home quite disappointed that Zessa Huzzy wasn't able to reap the fruits of his ancestral inheritance in order to bring home a wonderful bucket of KFC. And of course, let's just see what is the other thing, the truth punching or Hennessy. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. A 57-year-old man died on Wednesday after getting into difficulty while bathing at Flower Pot Beach in Pointe-à-Pierre. Colin Traboulet of San Fernando was pulled out of the water by relatives who responded to his cries for help, but he was unresponsive. Emergency responders were alerted and Traboulet was taken to the San Fernando General Hospital, where he died while being treated. Condolences to the family. People, stop going out into the deep areas. When me or my family go to the beach or wherever, it's usually waste level water. Yes, it's better not to be a hero outside here. I'm telling you, it will save your life and yet you could still enjoy your time at the beach. Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls, 9D panoramic sound, long battery life and fast charging, control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. Police are investigating a violent robbery in Sealots on Tuesday afternoon in which a man was shot and valuables stolen. Around 4:30 p.m., the victim was standing near a church along Pioneer Drive when two armed men approached and demanded money. Fearing for his safety, he handed over, listen to the amount of money, $25,000. During the incident, one of the suspects fired at the victim, hitting him in the left leg, causing him to fall. That you could bleed out and die. I hope he survives in Jesus' name. The attackers also stole a gold chain and gold ID band, each valued at approximately $25,000. Before fleeing north along Pioneer Drive. The victim was taken to Port of Spain General Hospital for treatment and was admitted. Something about that story sounding a bit strange. I'm telling you. $25,000 you had on you while in an area like that, with you're living in that area. Something about that story a bit strange. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. Pastor Bikram Singh of the Community Bible Church says while he's still unclear over the circumstances that led to the killing of one man by police, he's concerned over the incident happening at the church's facilities. Residents say the man whose name they did not know and 3 other family members rented a room at the church. When contacted for comment, Pastor Singh said he heard of the incident but could not provide any details on what led to the police visit. Singh confirmed that a room was being rented by a woman and her family. Try to do a little more, vetting, research into the individuals that you're allowing to rent from your property or rent your property. Yeah, you have to be careful outside here. Whether or not it was a legitimate neutralizing of the suspect or the police once again making up a story, we don't know, because you know why? We still don't have body cams being utilized here in Trinidad and Tobago. Sadly, the government, which I still support 100%, don't appear to believe that it is important to have body cams. It is important for the police service of Trinidad and Tobago to utilize body cams while on duty. For whatever reason, I don't know. That is one thing I could never agree with Roger Alexander's, making it look as though it's not a priority. It is a priority. Accountability, transparency, ensuring that extrajudicial killings stop, or at least is reduced. You don't find it a priority. I don't understand that. Police are investigating a chopping at a man's Konupia home early on Wednesday morning. Police said a 30-year-old man was at his Bridal Avenue home with his ex-girlfriend at around 5:10 a.m. when he heard a man call out to her from outside the house. Now it's his ex-girlfriend. So like hot girl decided to go and meet her ex, and the man probably followed her or found out where she was and decided to use violence. Now, number one, she's wrong for what she did, but it does not justify the monster's actions, and he should spend the rest of his life in prison, or at least probably about 20 years. The woman warned the man to run away as the attacker stormed the house and chopped him on his head and hand before running away, because in his mind, he owns that woman, and therefore any other man that she's going with deserves to be sent into eternity. So that's why using violence. A cutlass is a deadly weapon. 20 plus years in prison. A friend took the wounded man to the Shogunas Health Facility. He was treated and transferred to another hospital for cuts to the back of his head and his left hand. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. The police service has scored a big win against crime. Officers found and seized over $314 million worth of illegal drugs in 2 days of operations in South Trinidad. And I'm very sure that they also, in that amount of drugs, it includes the false god of Trinidad and Tobago, marijuana. One thing I would like to say is that, of course, and I say this all the time, I just hope the evidence remains in the police station and does not end up disappearing as it so often does here in Trinidad and Tobago. At least part of it. I don't know if the police smoke it. I don't know if they go and sell it. I don't know what happens. But the evidence just seems to keep disappearing. That type of evidence, the drugs. A teenage boy was arrested on a school compound. This was very good news in my opinion. On a school compound yesterday after he was found in possession of a quantity of cannabis, aka the false god of Trinidad and Tobago, marijuana. Reports indicated that a security guard at the secondary school in the Southern Division conducted a search of a male student's book bag at around 8:05 a.m. on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. The search resulted in the discovery of a quantity of cannabis inside the bag, weed inside the bag. The school's administration and officers of the division were informed about the matter, and the boy was arrested in connection with the fine. The minor, listen to this, the minor was charged with possession of cannabis and is expected to appear before the Children's Court Faizabad on Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Well done, officers, and this is why I fully approve and fully agree with police presence in all our schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago. They haven't reached there yet, but I believe that is exactly where it should end up reaching, where police are placed in all the schools in Trinidad and Tobago. But they must wear body cams. Barbados Minister of Tourism Ian Gooding Edgehill yesterday told attendees at the opening of the 2025 State of the Tourism Industry Conference in Bridgetown that the Caribbean's record-breaking tourism rebound could be at risk if the United States economy slows down. Oh gosh, all of us are not studying about the United States economy. Just months ago, the region was celebrating a historic milestone, a $34 million stay-over visitors in 2024, surpassing C-19 highs. Everything just drops in C-19, you know, because remember the entire world was shut down for about 2 years, so they destroyed everything. For something that cannot be stopped. Cruise arrivals were also on the rise, with a projected 7% increase in scheduled calls across the Caribbean in 2025. My response? We don't need the white man's America, not so. That's what all of you all have been saying, to wean off the white man America. We love China and Russia. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what the Caribbean people say and the leaders of the Caribbean say. Not so tribal Caribbean. You should be rejoicing. Why don't be sad? You should be rejoicing. Now is the time. Now is the time, people, to build a closer relationship with Vladimir Putin and President Xi and declare communist states throughout our region. If we declare ourselves communist states, I'm telling you, President Xi will embrace us with open arms, and and Putin will welcome us into his new founded USSR. Amen, people. Amen. The core of the Hurricane Imelda was moving past Bermuda early Thursday as weather conditions were expected to improve around the tiny British territory that reported major power outages and downed trees, but no injuries, thankfully. A tropical storm warning remained in effect after the Category 2 storm swiped the island and then lost strength. Thank God, I really thank God that no one was injured. Authorities in the Dominican Republic have detained 11 police officers following the killing of 5 suspected criminals during a police operation last month. The arrests made on Tuesday were unusual in a country where police and military largely operate with impunity. So something is up. Probably the evidence of extrajudicial killing in this case was so overwhelming they had no choice but to do so. News from Guyana. Roger Simon, known as Goatman. What are you doing with the goat and them, boy? Anyhow, a 60-year-old gold miner of Lot 25 Fifth Avenue, Bartica, Essequibo River, was on Wednesday sentenced to 2 years in prison for trafficking the god of the world right now, the false god of the world right now, marijuana, cannabis, the herb. Simon was sentenced at the Bartica Magistrate Court by his worship magistrate, Tariq Mohammed. Wonderful. More news from Guyana. Police are investigating a daring daylight robbery in Rassville, Georgetown, where a 68-year-old pensioner was robbed of his licensed pump-action gun and other valuables on Tuesday afternoon. Some patriot again going to reap his ancestral inheritance from the old man's house or the elderly man's home. Reports indicate that around 5:50 p.m. on September 30th, the victim, who resided at Edinburgh Village, Barrack East Bank, Berbice, was driving through the area when he was intercepted by 2 men on a motorcycle. And any of these patriots throughout the world. These people don't want to go and work for themselves, no. They want to go and reap their ancestral inheritance from other people's homes and vehicles and everything. Evil time we're living in. But it has been evil since the fall of mankind. It's just that it has gotten extremely worse now. News from Jamaica. A St. Catherine man who crashed into 2 vehicles and fled the scene was fined a total of $280,000 Jamaican dollars, but it's still a lot of money, for 14 days imprisonment in the parish court on Wednesday. Donovan Benson of a Spanish Town address pleaded guilty to dangerous driving, no driver's license, no insurance coverage, and leaving the scene of the accident. Well, boy, that probably left the scene in the first place. Yeah, that's not your driving, dog. You're a real boss, boy. You're a zessa. You call her zessa. A truck driver was arrested on Wednesday night after his vehicle was intercepted and found with a large quantity of the false god of the world right now, ganja, in Morant Bay, St. Thomas. This is the latest in a series of recent ganja busts in the parish by the police. The herb. Jamaicans love the herb, you know. Yes, I have been smoke the herb. Give thanks and praise. The police reported that around 10:30 p.m., officers from the St. Thomas Highway Patrol, acting on intelligence, stopped a truck that was traveling along Church Street in Morant Bay. The herb has gone away. The principals of 2 corporate area schools are raising concern. This is still Jamaica. Raising concern about a persistent stench from a decades-old sewage treatment plant. Decade. How long Andrew Holness in office now? A decade? Alrighty then. Let me read that over for you all. The principals of 2 corporate area schools are raising concern about a persistent stench from a decades-old sewage treatment plant operated by the National, so that's a bit private, National Water Commission of Spanish Town in Kingston. All right. They say the offensive odor affects the air quality in the school environs and interrupts the teaching and learning process. Now, having said that, I don't know how much I really support Andrew Holness. But because of recently how he still, he has been supporting America to an extent, definitely supporting the war against drugs and crime in the region. And also, I think he did not vote against Israel recently. So maybe, just maybe in this case, I'm sorry to say it, maybe, just maybe, because of those particular things, even though he wasn't really that good of a prime minister for the past 10 years, I don't ever support Mark Golding, who's the opposition. Now, the elections is gone anyhow, but still, what I'm saying is, because I think one member of the opposition was talking about how it was wrong of the Andrew Holness to abstain from, I think, voting against Israel or some kind of thing like that. I don't want to be reporting anything incorrect, but from what I could remember, something like that came up recently. And if that is the case, and if Mark Golding himself agrees with his member of his party, then sorry to say it, I can't support you.
Tell me your name, please.
Oh, Lionel Davis.
Lionel Davis.
Yeah.
You live in the community?
I live at Greenwich Farm. Yeah.
Greenwich Farm. No, that's sewage treatment plant. How long it has been here?
I live here for more than 40 years, and as long as me live here, I know it.
You know it?
I know it.
How it affect the communities, the surrounding communities, and the schools?
Well, it affects the community and the school by the smell of it. The smell of it. It makes all the people vomit. They have to go in their mouth. It's the respiration problem. Sometimes it makes people can't breathe. People have to put on all them masks to the smell of it. And again, the dust again, you know. The dust in the dry road, you know, problem.
So most of the smell and
most
the
of
school?
the smell. Most of the smell.
And it affects the schools badly?
It affects the schools. Or the school, they write, there's enough time teacher, they have to cover up all them face. You know, they have to go away, yeah.
So what you think them should look? Maybe put a chemical in it where can hold it down or what?
Well, if them could have do that, put a chemical in it, because same way a tank is over Portmore, they write a T-junction, and that's how it would just stink up the whole of Portmore.
Yeah, remember.
I mean, I don't know where them do with it, they like them move it or so.
It move gas Swapburn.
It
don't gas Swapburn.
Alright, it moves.
Otherwise it can't move.
So it's not every day they smell like this?
No,
smell?
sometimes they smell, depends on what they're doing.
Okay.
Depends on what they're draw.
So what are the different things with them draw? So?
Like, I've been anyway, so is them dry and things. And I want to see them the food water,
yeah.
Everything. I just set down, the machine take over so tight, and it goes straight to Swapburn.
This is so you can imagine when them having lunches.
When they're having lunches, when I'm having lunch, I'm talking about my experience. I have to cover the box and stuff sometimes, just like every other teacher here. My name is Andrea Richards. I'm the acting principal of Greenwich Primary School.
Where's Greenwich Primary School? Where is it located?
It's at 82B Spanish Town Road.
Students, you yourself, parents and teachers have been grappling with this stench. How has that affected the students?
Well, it is affecting everyone, not just the students. Students, when teachers have to pause when they're teaching and the scent comes up, the stench comes up, so they have to pause what they're doing. Sometimes they have to put their rags with some alcohol or something over their nostrils. The students, sometimes it's as if they are going to reach vomit, because that's how bad it is at times. We have been grappling with this situation for a number of years, and media houses, everybody's aware, I think, of it, that is within the environs, and nobody has helped us. It's as if our cries are falling on deaf ears. The ministry is aware of it also, and we get no help. There have been teachers here who they came here healthy, and then they had to leave because over the years it has affected them. So we are down in numbers. There are parents who are saying that they, in terms of enrollment, enrollment of students. Not to say that this is the main factor, but it is one of the contributing factors, which parents are saying in the they are not sending their children to school because of the stench.
What exactly is beside you there? What is causing this stench?
It's a sewage treatment plant where the trucks dump the sewage that they collect from around town. So it goes there on a daily basis. And primarily when the trucks are, what do you call it, letting out, I should say, the scent rises. They have been doing some work over there since up in the year, but whatever work they are doing, it has not lessened the stench. At one point in about 2021, 2022, a gentleman came from NWC saying that they will be putting a chemical in it so that the stench would be lessened. But instead of lessening, it has gotten worse over the years. And since we have returned to school, it has been dangerously bad. If you could say that word.
Of course, you like them to deal with this and deal with it.
Yes. Yes, I would like this situation to be dealt with post-ACE, because it's affecting us here. It's affecting our health. Maybe some of us will not be sick today, but in the long run, we will be sick. Some of us, not everybody.
What sort of feedback would have gotten from maybe students and parents alike?
Well, some parents, they talk about it. They ask us how we manage with it. There are some parents who, I know the community, one teacher told me that she knows of prospective parents who said they won't send their child here or their children here because of the stench. As I said before, it's not the main reason why they wouldn't send their children here, but that is one of the factors. So the children deal with it. It is affecting them. We have not seen any child or children being sick from it to say it is a contributing factor. But as I said before, down years to come, maybe it will affect these children. Children are very resilient and they are tough, but
how long
does.
That plant has been there?
I've been at Greenwich Fund from 1988, about 37 years, and it has been there.
So you came here and saw it?
Yes.
Because you came here 1988?
Yes.
And it was already in operation when you came here?
Yes, it was. But as I said, the stench wasn't that bad at that time. Mm-hmm. Over the years, it has gotten worse.
Oh my God. Well, and of course, you're appealing for speedy resolution to the problem.
To the problem, so that we can have a school where we can breathe in fresh air. Because with that over there, the quality of the air isn't good, and we breathe it every day. Every single day. So I'm asking whoever, the people in high places, please help us, because we really need the help here to remedy the situation.
So my name is Marlene Reed. I'm the principal of the school.
The school, what's the name?
Caribbean Palms ECI.
How long the school have been here?
Well, we have been here over 11 years.
And how long you have been here?
Same amount of time.
Same amount of time. Now, right beside you next door is a sewage treatment plant.
Yes.
How has it affected the school or affecting the school?
It is affecting the school enormously, because especially when the smell comes up, we have to be covering our nose, covering our mouth, telling the children not to talk, stuff like that. So they actually have gotten used to it. And it's really daunting at times to know that these children have to be experiencing this. And we have been told, though, that it would have been moved before this scheme was built. So even when we came in, because I'm a resident here as well, so we were told that it would have been removed, and we're here for years now and still nothing has been done about it.
How was it? Do you think it have any health effects on the students or any teachers here?
Well, for us, no, but I think it would have effect on parents or children or teachers who have asthma or something. But for us, we don't really have that problem. But it's just really daunting, as I said, whenever the smell comes up, stuff like that.
In terms of when it comes up, how children react? What are they?
I mean, they get so used to it. They're covering their noses, they're covering their mouths, and you hear them even saying to others, don't talk, pump your eyes. So they have gotten so used to it, they know when pump your eyes. So that's how they call it, pump your eyes. They call it pumpy.
Okay,
Yeah. So if you say Pumpy, everybody know what you're talking about in 2 Mile. Pumpy. Yeah. And it has been here for years. For years, because my sons used to attend Greenwich All-Age School and they have experienced it. You know, most teachers, and I am aware that teachers left Greenwich All-Age School because of this. I am sure of that. And they have experienced that too. But as I said, our students nowadays, they have gotten so used to it. Pumpy rise, and they know exactly what to cover. So even if I say, don't talk, they already know what to do. But we really wish that it would be removed as promised. And, you know, so we can health issues, as you say, because we don't know which day it will affect our children in a very disgusting way. And, you know, we really wish it can be removed.
And your students, and what age group are they?
Our age group is we have from 3-year-old up to 6-year-olds.
International news now. Sean Diddy Combs is set to be sentenced Friday for violating the Federal Mann Act, an anti-prostitution law with a century-old history. Although he was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges, most likely because of lack of evidence or whatsoever. Combs was convicted in July of flying people around the country, including his girlfriends and male sex workers, to engage in paid sexual encounters. So basically still prostitution, but at a higher class, a higher level. I'm telling you, the justice system. But at least he was still convicted of something. And I hope justice prevails and he spends a lot more time in prison. That man, when you see that video, that man treating that woman as though she was nothing. He's a monster and deserves to be behind bars. I don't just like people going in prison just so you know people. But that man appears to believe as though because he has so much wealth, he's above the law. That cannot continue to take place. You let that man come back out without spending any more time in prison, he's going straight back into the same lifestyle. A frightening scene at New York's LaGuardia Airport. 2 regional Delta jets collided on the ground, sending 1 person to the hospital. The incident is now under investigation. That sounded strange. Was that what the pilots were what, smoking herbs or what? Were they drunk or what? Or was there some kind of jihadist on board? It doesn't appear to be so, because by now they would have reported that some kind of terrorist was trying to take over or hijack the plane. Time alone will tell. If I get any more information about it, I'll let you all know.
Emergency lights flashing at New York's LaGuardia Airport Wednesday night after 2 Delta Airlines regional jets collided on the ground, the wing of one aircraft slamming into the cockpit windows of the other.
When you feel the front of the plane just kind of get dragged to the right, and you can physically feel like in your seat, you moving to the right.
1 person was taken to the hospital, according to airport officials, with a pilot heard on air traffic control audio saying a flight attendant had injured her knee.
We call these incursions, runway incursions, and they're about 4 a day. Usually they don't hit.
The collision happened between Flight 5047 and Flight 5155 at the intersection of 2 taxiways. The Federal Aviation Administration said air traffic control had told Flight 5155 to wait to cross the intersection and yield to other aircraft. The agency now investigating the incident.
There are very clear rules for pilots taxiing, one plane turning in front of the other, depending upon the clearances, and ground control would have said who was cleared to go where. But it's like the rules of the road. One plane has the right of way, the other was turning in front of it, and so they will figure it out in a hurry.
Delta released a statement saying in part, Delta will work with all relevant authorities to review what occurred as the safety of our customers and people comes before all else. We apologize to our customers for the experience. In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
President Donald Trump has declared drug cartels to be unlawful combatants and says the United States is now in a non-international armed conflict, according to a Trump administration memo obtained by the Associated Press on Thursday following recent U.S. strikes on boats in the Caribbean. Now, people, I fully support what he's doing, but let's just be real about this. He needs to start to focus also, while doing it in the Caribbean, focus on the very well-known, notorious criminal gangs in America, because you always talk about TRINIDAD and all these different gangs from Venezuela and Central America and whatsoever. But I've not once heard him speak about two of the main gangs in America that actually are part of the music industry, the entertainment industry. What you're doing about those two gangs, Donald Trump? And it's the hypocrisy I cannot handle. I support what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. I support what he's doing in the region. I just don't find now he's doing quite a bit even in America. I put in the National Guard and stuff like that put in place. But I haven't heard him actually make any official declaration that he's waging war against the criminal gangs that are native, that are part of American, or that are American criminal gangs. UK's counter-terror police unit named Jihad al-Shami, 35, a British citizen of Syrian descent though, as the terrorist who murdered Israelis yesterday, or a couple of days ago, because this news was from a couple of days now, outside of a synagogue in Manchester. He was shot and killed by police, thankfully, but people lost their lives. And this is the sad thing about it. The UK right now, people, the UK is being controlled by a radical leftist government that is allowing the radical, violent, jihadist mob. We are not talking about normal Muslim people here, people. We are not talking about Muslims that live in Trinidad, that just live their life normal and peacefully with everybody. And sometimes they're living in the same communities with Hindus and they're normal. Sometimes they're going and attending each other's festivities and stuff. We are not talking about those kind of Muslims. We are talking about the jihadists who want to actually bring war upon the entire world to force everyone to accept Sharia law. These are the radicals we are talking about. And these are the radicals that are living in the UK right now. And they're trying to transform the whole country into a jihadist state. That's the evil. And that's because they have a weak, woke, senseless, far-left, radical regime in office right now.
Attack in Manchester this morning is absolutely shocking, and all of our thoughts are with those affected. I'm on my way back to London. When I arrive, I will chair an emergency COBRA meeting. I'm already able to say that additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do everything to keep our Jewish community safe. I've spoken to Mark Gardner of the CST and Andy Burnham, Mayor of Manchester, and I want to thank the emergency services for the speed of their response.
3 Hamas terrorists, also known as freedom fighters by the radical jihadists, were arrested in Germany for planning a terrorist attack in the country. We almost heard about another terrorist attack, this time in Germany. Police have seized an AK-47 assault rifle and several pistols. Thank God that they did so before people lost their lives. Like how people end up losing their life in England. The IDF is currently completing the capture of Netzarim route up to the Gaza coast and is splitting Gaza between north and south. This will tighten the encirclement around Gaza City, and all those leaving it to the south will be forced to pass through IDF checkpoints. That's going to ensure that the radical jihadists, Hamas, will just freely pass through as well, unless they end up being disarmed and also wearing civilian clothes. They do that a lot of the times, though. This is the last opportunity for Gaza residents who wish to do so to move south and leave the Hamas terrorists isolated in Gaza itself, facing the full force of the IDF's ongoing operations. Those who remain in Gaza, listen to this carefully, those who remain in Gaza will be terrorists and supporters of terror. It's over 2 weeks now. You have the opportunity to vacate that area, to leave that area, to evacuate that area. And IDF has provided safe routes for you to be able to leave. If you don't, that means you literally support the Hamas terrorists. And therefore, if you go down with them. That is your problem. You made that choice. IDF is preparing for all possibilities and is determined to continue its operations until all hostages are returned and Hamas is disarmed, leading to the end of the war. Thus far, people, from what I've seen online, Hamas has rejected yet again another deal that was proposed by Trump. Let's see. Trump did say that if they did reject the deal, that he was going to just allow Israel, as though he's the king of Israel, he was going to allow Israel to complete their mission in Gaza City. Let's just see if he and Witkoff going to come up with another plan again, right? Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel says Israel grieves with the Jewish community in the UK after the barbaric terror attack in Manchester. Said our hearts are with the families of the murdered and we pray for the swift recovery of the wounded. As I warned at the UN, weakness in the face of terrorism only brings more terrorism. Only strength and unity can defeat it. And that's exactly what I was saying just now there. It's a very extremely far left, woke, weak government in England right now.
I'm sure you guys can guess where I am because it's pretty much an empty room. That's right, I'm inside one of the vessels, one of the largest vessels to come in this Yom Kippur flotilla. And while we're processing this boat, there's one thing missing, guys. All this aid that they were supposed to bring into Gaza, which explains one thing to me, I'm sure it explains to you, that when we and multiple other countries offered them to take this aid and bring it to the Gazans, we could facilitate its safe arrival, they flat out rejected it. And now we know why, because it was never about bringing aid to Gazans, but it was all about the headlines and the social media followings.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm a citizen of Sweden. If you are watching this video, I have been abducted and taken against my will by Israeli forces. Our humanitarian mission was non-violent and abiding by international law. Please tell my government to demand my and the others' immediate release.
My name is Joachim Lamotte and I'm a Swedish citizen. If you see this video, Greta Thunberg has been abducted by Israeli forces. And I have a message from the Swedish people to the Israeli government. Please keep her. We have had her so many years in Sweden and we cannot stand it anymore. So you are doing us a really big favor right now. Thank you very much.
$2,200 American servicemen killed at Pearl Harbor. We go on to kill 3.5 million Japanese, including 100,000 in one night. 2,800 Americans in 9/11. We go on to kill 400,000 people in Afghanistan and Iraq. We weren't accused of genocide. You had, if Mexico had elected a jihadist cartel to run their country, and then they incurred into Texas, and on a per capita basis killed 35,000 people, or the population of the University of Texas, and on the way back took the freshman class at SMU hostage and hid them under tunnels, what would we do? It'd be the great Sonora radioactive parking lot. But Jews are not allowed, and Israel is not allowed to prosecute a war. And they are prosecuting a war more humanely than we have done. The ratio of combatants to civilians is, of civilian death to combatant mortality is lower than it was in Mosul, lower than it was in Japan, lower than it was in Germany. So there's just a different standard for Jews in Israel when it comes to prosecuting a war. They're allowed to fight back to a truce. But unlike America or any other Western nation that has attacked this viciously, they're not allowed to win a war. It's a double standard.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. As you all have noticed, I do not do these news reports daily anymore. Weekends off, and during the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please continue still to like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.